Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. A very, very special duo today. The best show in the city. And I will say this, the hardest working man in the industry to your right, the most successful man in the industry to the middle. Justin Spears, Ollie Farhang. How are you doing, my friends?
Good morning, Mike. What's going on, man?
Mike Luke.
Not
Legend.
much.
I've never been in a situation where I was in a ginger sandwich before, but here I am.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Also, Ollie, you, if I'm not mistaken, said you had a tinge of red hair back in the day. Is this true?
In my beard, so now it's white. But yeah, I would get a little bit of red hair in the beard.
Well, then you know what? Be like Justin and myself and embrace it. How about that, Ollie?
Hey man, if I've had a lot of things I wanted to check off my box in life, being the part of a strawberry Oreo was one of them. So check.
Dude, get in line, my friend. Get in line on that one. Justin and I have the real thing. You know what? You admire from afar. That's why you're in the middle right there.
Me, I'm the only. Yeah, I mean, the ladies probably say that all the time to both of you.
All right, we've got a lot. What is it? There's no other version than Persian, or what was it?
Yeah. Once you go Persian, there's no other version.
Yes. Very, very good. Okay. All right. We got a lot. We're going to talk Arizona basketball. We're going to talk Arizona football, but we've got the source for Arizona football. By the way, Justin, you guys both have some of the best backgrounds. Where can they find Justin Spears and many of his different pursuits, and Ollie Farhang as well?
Yes, sir. So when I'm not doing the show with this guy on ESPN Tucson in the mornings, I'm covering Arizona football for the Arizona Daily Star. So you can find all my work on Tucson.com and the Wildcaster mobile app. And as you know, Mike, lots to talk about on the football front. Lots of roster construction, lots of moving pieces. It was certainly, I mean, just the last several months between the time that the season ended from the Alamo Bowl till now, it's been just an absolute roller coaster, but it's been a lot of fun.
We're going to get into that in a second. Now, Ollie. I love it. It's funny. When I had Ollie on about a couple months ago, generally when I look at somebody's qualifications or whatever, I'll just, there's like one or two things, normal people. Then I see Ollie, lawyer, host, owner of the Sugar Skulls, Centurion. And I looked at him like, dude, I'm going to leave something out here. So, Ollie, what did I miss there?
Well, not Centurion, Conquistador, but they both start with C.
Sorry.
And it's old school. I'm the Pima County representative for the Sports Authority, which is we're trying to bring baseball back among other things to Pima County. And then
any bowl games you're involved in?
Arizona Bowl.
Snoop Dogg, Arizona Bowl. We're in good shape for a few years. Today, breaking news, we announced a multi-year deal with the CW, so they'll broadcast again. That was the second highest rated show for the CW last year, our bowl game. So Snoop Dogg, Arizona Bowl, here to stay and in good shape.
No more Indo gin and juice. I'm on my way to Chino, rolling on the Grey Goose, shackled from head to toe, 25 with an Izzo, with nowhere to gizzo. I know. Boom. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, that was good.
What a part.
I know.
Let's be honest. That was from Murder Was the Case that they gave me. All right. I wanted to get in on with you start on this one. Arizona football, fellas. I have felt for the last 2 years that Vegas has been behind the curve a little bit on Arizona football. First year, or last 2 years ago, it was 2.5 wins. Arizona got 5. Last year, it was 5 wins. Arizona got 10. I'm looking at these numbers right now. 7.5 wins and 15-2 odds to win the Big 12. Justin Spears, you're the boots on the ground source. What say you on those projections?
You said second best odds to win the Big 12?
No. Fourth best odds, 15-2 odds.
Behind who?
Behind Kansas State, Utah, and one other school. Yeah. So
in Oklahoma State. Now, I do like Oklahoma State a lot. I mean, they had a really good season last year. But good news for Arizona, you don't got to play Oklahoma State until potentially the Big 12 championship game.
Right.
So you're getting Kansas State early on in the season. Early in the year, I mean, anything can happen. So if Arizona is able to pull off a win at Kansas State, I know it's going to be considered a non-conference game because it was scheduled before all this conference realignment, but that's still a major win over a big time program in Kansas State. And I look at all the other games on Arizona's schedule going at Utah. I mean, Cam Rising coming back, Kyle Whittingham is going to do a good job of rebuilding that team.
Right.
Getting them back on track after kind of having a off year last year. Utah is going to be tough. Going on the road and playing BYU in Provo. Your two games against the Utah schools are on the road, and those schools pack the house. So it's going to be a tough road environment. But I think Arizona, with Noah Fafita and Titaro McMillan and the camaraderie they have on the defensive end, I mean, I think if they're able to win those games where, I mean, it could be kind of a coin flip, then I think we're talking about Arizona being in the driver's seat to win the Big 12. I love the way this team is constructed. I think getting the nucleus of guys to come back with Noah, who is a Heisman Trophy hopeful, T-Mac, who is the best receiver in college football. You have arguably the best secondary in the Big 12 with 4 out of the 5 guys coming back. And then on the offensive line, yes, you lose Jordan Morgan, but 4 out of those 5 guys are coming back. So a lot of great returning pieces. And as you know, Mike, you've been talking about it on your show with Jason Scheer a lot, the pieces that they've added in the transfer portal, while they may not jump off the page, they're going after guys that they need, like at the running back spot, like up front. I think the coaching staff led by Brennan, they've been very strategic in adding pieces in the transfer portal, and I really like what they have. So 4th best odds, I'm not really surprised by that. I'm not going to sit there and say like, oh, that's a bad take by these odds makers, but it would not surprise me if Arizona wins the Big 12.
Ollie, will you say that it's a bad take by the odds makers?
I mean, I think the 7.5, I'm betting that all day long. And, to win the Big 12, those are great odds. I mean, you should take those odds. That's why they call it betting.
My friends.
Yeah. Look, the best ability is availability, and football seasons are wars of attrition. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be required for any team to succeed in this conference. And look, I understand the nostalgia of the Pac-12 and the lament that it no longer exists. I get it. MoveOn.org. The Big 12 is better football, and we're going to be playing better teams. And I'm going to tell all Wildcat fans, whether it's football or basketball or whatever, you got to raise your levels, because we're going to see what passionate fan bases are all about. They're going to pack the house. It's going to be more hostile crowds than going to Berkeley and playing Cal, or, going to Pullman and playing Washington State, or the 5 people at UCLA. When you talk about the pageantry and passion of college athletics, the Big 12 has it in abundance. So Arizona fans, get used to a lot of fans from other schools coming to Arizona Stadium. Get used to, if you're a basketball fan, a men's basketball fan, get used to not being able to find a ticket. It is another level of fandom, and I'm really excited for it, because I think it's going to raise the level, not just of our athletic department, but of our fan base.
I got to give Brennan a lot of credit too, and Justin put it into this as well. I think we're so used to, oh, well, if somebody's not a 5-star, then, what kind of contributor can they really be? This was a roster. This was a team that when Brennan took over, he was able to keep a lot of pieces. That's called recruiting, because you have to be able to bring those guys back. And just let's look at the running back position for a second. This was one that was decimated. Obviously, you lose Jonah Coleman, you lose Michael Wiley, you lose DJ Williams, Justin's buddy DJ Williams with the monster truck. But you also are able to replace them with, Kedrick Riscano, ex-top 10 running back in the country, 1 year removed from that. Quali Conley, you got Fam Rayshon Speedy Luke, you got Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. You guys heard that story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then go ahead, Justin, and we'll get to some other parts of the team. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. It's just a wild story with him and Ole Miss, and among other things.
Right.
It's your show, guys, but you guys are so educated in Arizona athletics, but in Arizona football in particular. Is there one area of concern going into the season for you? For me, it's defensive line. But what about for you guys? Is there something that you're looking at just be like kind of gives you a little bit of trepidation?
Justin, you're the beat writer. You go first.
Defensive line, just the interior guys. Losing Big Bill Norton, as Mike Luke calls him, BBN, losing BBN, losing Tyler Manoa, who's playing for the Minnesota Vikings, losing, a handful of interior beefy guys, losing that size certainly hurts, because what those guys didn't show up on the box score, but they took up space. They occupied blockers, and having that size, that girth on the defensive line allows guys like Jacob Manu and Dalton Johnson and these other players to come downhill and make some plays. So the guys that they added in the transfer portal and the guys that they have coming back, I've seen a lot of great things from Isaiah Johnson, who has been with the program for the last couple of years, was a part of that 2022 recruiting class, but really fell under the radar. He ascended in spring. And, you know, this is one thing that, you know, I leave with Arizona fans to kind of give them hope is, you know, there were a number of players last year that we really didn't know about, and they just ascended. The one that immediately comes to mind is Isaiah Ward. Isaiah Ward wasn't on the 2 deep at all last year, but had a great spring, had a great preseason training camp, and then became a starter on the defensive line. So you're going to look at names and you're going to be like, I have no idea who this guy is, but I'm telling you, give them a chance because they have a chance to prove something. Look at Bill Norton. You know, Bill Norton, when he came to Arizona, had no stats, but a reason why it was because he played at the defensive line factory that is Georgia. So I'm just going to say, yes, while there are, you know, some concerns with this Arizona team, you just never know who's going to step up. And going back to Brent Brennan and, you know, his ability to get guys in the portal, you know, that may not jump off the page. You know, this was what he did at San Jose State.
Right.
You know how hard it is to win 7 games in consecutive seasons at San Jose, but he produced several all Mountain West selections, won games at San Jose State, which is a hard program to win at. And he's kind of a Dick Tomey disciple. What was one thing that Dick Tomey was good at? Finding talent, scouting them, and making them into great football players. And I think Brent Brennan can certainly do that at Arizona.
You know, it's weird. I'm on the D line. I'm with you on the D line. I actually have more concerns, though, on the edge, because right now I think with Tai Uiagalelei and Trey Smith, I think I'm fine with them as the starters. I don't love some of I think you need to add a little bit more behind them. You know, it's weird, though. On the D line, I actually think they've done like as if I was implying they wouldn't do a good job. But you look at some of the guys that they were able to, you know, keep. Obviously, you got Chuba. Then you've got, I believe, bringing in Darton from Syracuse is going to be big. People are forgetting about this dude. This was an all ACC type performer right there. So you got to keep that. Bear Anderson from Memphis, one of the better freshmen in the country last year in the D tackle spot. And then you've also got, like you said, Isaiah Johnson. What I am a little worried about is depth on the O-line. Because I love the 4 starters. Absolutely. And I think we look at Polito and we know that he's got a world of potential, but he's also been dinged up a lot, you know, throughout his career. And we've seen that. You've also, you know, some of the guys I think just haven't quite developed the way that you were maybe hoping, like a Tylen Gonzalez or an Elijah Payne or something. I do like getting Jonah Rodriguez from San Diego State, but that worries me a little bit, the depth. But overall, though, guys, the starters I feel very good about.
Starters are good. The guys that they got in the portal are really good too. Michael Wooten from Oregon is another player who's probably going to get, you know, some love at tackle, whether it's the left or the right side. Rhino Tapatuatai is a second-year guy who got a lot of great experience this spring. Because
how long did it take you to get that name down, Justin? Be honest.
A couple tries. Ollie will give me a little bit of credit here. I'm really good with Polynesian names. Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I got the Polynesian names down.
Right.
But Rhino Tapatuatai is a second-year guy, and when Raymond Polito went out with injury this spring, and you had Joseph Bourgeon in the transfer portal and a couple tackles also gone, like Rhino Tapatuatai was taking reps with the 1s, 2s, and the 3s for a little bit. So that experience is invaluable, and I think that Rhino should be ready to go if his number is called at this point of the season or coming up in the season. You know, I'm also looking at Shanko Matautia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He goes by East. 6'3", 350 pounds, just a big guy, has 20 games of experience at New Mexico playing right guard. And if you look at the most competitive position on the offensive line this spring, it was right guard. And if you don't have Shanko playing right guard, you got Leif Magnuson, who started 4 games for the Wildcats last year. You also have Alexander Doost, who's 6'7", almost 300 pounds, coming in from Northwestern. So they do have some pieces, and I like the depth that Arizona's adding up front.
Ollie, let me ask you this. You're a bottom line guy. That's how you've gotten to the position you are. And let me ask you this. I believe Arizona's got to get 9 wins this season. I believe they've got to be able to build on it. We've been here a long time. Arizona's never really been able to string together 2 really good seasons in a row. Arizona's got a loaded roster. I believe they need to be able to build on it. I say we need to have 9 wins. What says the most successful man in the industry, Ollie Farhang?
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. And, as an Arizona fan, there's always been that banana peel, like right around the corner for us. Every time we had a hope or, think about 98, we're ranked number 1 in AP and go to Penn State, and a guy named, LeVar Arrington.
Courtney Brown, LeVar Arrington.
Brown just basically lived in our backfield. So, yeah, I mean, I think 9 wins and, really vying for the Big 12 championship is what this team is capable of. And like I said, health is always important. We stay healthy, and we've got, if we do have an injury where it's in an area where we've got more depth, then Arizona's got everything they need. And just one thing I wanted to point out to you guys, and I think it goes unsaid too much. Think about the job Brennan did when he got here, developing genuine relationships with the guys that were on this team to give them the confidence to stay here, because he did it in a short time.
Yeah.
And to be able to accomplish that, I mean, you don't do that if you're not authentic. And maybe the best recruiting job in the country this year was Brennan coming in and keeping the majority of this roster intact. And it should be really applauded.
All right, now we got an elephant in the room that we need to address. Oh, but first, a super snap from H. Fuchs. Hello, Mr. Luke. Doing this now since I usually listen later, but wanted your thoughts on the D-line additions. And if you're concerned that only one D-line weighs over 300, Justin Scheer, as he always did that very well. I think you have your answers. But first, guys, we've got to address the elephant in the room here. When was the last time you went to Circle K?
Ooh, man. Actually, before I left for San Diego this past weekend.
Oh,
yeah, last week to buy my Zins.
Okay. You're a member of the Inner Circle, Ollie. This is true.
I've got the app, baby. I am a celebrated member of the Circle K family.
Justin Scheer, are you part of the Inner Circle?
I am a part of the Inner Circle.
You know what? Everybody is part of the Inner Circle. It is taking off. Back the A, back the K. That is where we are at this point. Join Inner Circle for free if you haven't already. I have not been doing my job if you're listening and you've not. Download the Circle K app today, just like Ali, just like Justin. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And listen, Justin Scheer. All right, let me ask you this, Justin. How many hours per week do you work? Just on average, just, between all your different, between the newspaper, between the radio, stuff like that. How many hours a week does Justin Scheer work on average?
I would probably say well over 40.
Well, duh. I was thinking it would be more like well over 60.
Yeah, probably in that 60 plus range.
Scheer and I were debating this the other day on air, where I was like, over or under 65 hours per week that Justin Scheer works. And we put that at about even money, about minus 115, something in there. So, all right, I feel pretty good about that one.
He's a grinder. Justin's a grinder. I respect that about him.
Yep. Well, Ali, you had to grind to get to where you are right now. Let's not kid ourselves here. You had to play for Jeff Stern and Sabino.
Yeah, part of our overtime episode was kind of about lack of accountability and the sense of entitlement that us as parents are not instilling in our kids to exceed your expectations. So, yeah, I mean,
do I have a story for you on entitlement? We're going to get to that in a second, but one more time, got to pay the bills. BetMGM Sportsbook app, my friends. Listen, we just talked about it. The great Andrew Trujillo behind the scene, I'm sure, has gotten in on this as well, because Andrew is a smart man. But Andrew might say, you know what? I've dealt with Mike Luke. That guy's an idiot. I am going to go against him, and I'm going to bet against Arizona. It doesn't matter. Just do it on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10. You will receive $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for details, and let's hear Shane Diefenbach with the disclaimer.
Bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right.
Hey, Luke, you don't know how spot on you were about Andrew Trujillo, because he's the only guy 3 years ago that bet on NAU to beat Arizona.
Did he really? He backed the Jack?
He backed the Jack. I think he put a $10 bet down and won like $170.
He deserves that.
It was more like an $80 win, but I still won.
Still won.
We deserves that.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the lack of grind here for a second. All right. I thought I was being a good person the other day. I live right down by the U of A, and I got weeds in my front yard. But so we had some kids, a lot of kids from like Tucson High, or this was like last week before graduation, are coming by. They all have the same haircuts, like the bowl haircuts with like the skinny, tattered jeans. And anyways, I asked these kids, I said, hey, how long do you think it would take you to get all these weeds up in my front yard? And there were 3 of them. And they said, I don't know, probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I said to them, I said, all right, I will give you guys $120 to do this. They looked at me like I was speaking Mandarin. They looked away, and the one guy looks at me and he's like, are you kidding me? We're not going to do that for that. I'm thinking $120 for 2 hours. And dude, that's what I realized, man. This generation is soft, dude. Soft. I would have done that for $30 back in the day. I do not. Yes.
Those guys. Well, those guys, those 3 guys.
Yes.
Whoever you are out there, you're watching right now. Yeah, you guys are clowns and soft.
Yes, exactly. Edgar's is the term. I do apologize. Edgar's is the term. I did not know that. When did this become a thing? Justin, you're hip with the kids. You're with the OVO crowd. When did this happen?
You're with the OVO crew. I don't know when the bowl cuts started becoming a thing.
Is that really a thing?
Oh, it's a huge thing now.
Yeah,
Really?
they never ask to like trim up the sides. It's always like, hey, line me up all on the edges, but my hair is going to continue to grow and pack, and they look like Toad from Super Mario.
That's exactly. But it's a big thing now, especially when you live down by the U of A. You see it everywhere. So I do not understand this one at all. I think of Dumb and Dumber when I see it, but we'll leave it at that.
I mean, well, maybe it's just like, okay, so what can I do to look like the biggest doofus? And that is the answer. As I'm looking at the pictures right now. Although I think that when you guys are going to talk about haircuts or hair in general, I should just abstain.
No, you shouldn't abstain. You know what Ali did? This is what all smart people do. They recognize when there's a flaw, and then they embrace it, or they do something. You know what would look even worse, Ali, is if you went with the LeBron route and put like the rug on your head and then the spray paint that comes off during the game. You, like Charles Barkley said. Charles Barkley one time said, I am the sexiest man in the world. If it's good enough for me to go bald, it should be good enough for LeBron James to go bald. It is okay to do that. I am glad that you embrace it, Ali. No,
I embrace it, and I'll never go back. And as soon as it's like, man, it looks like I got a wreath around my head like Julius Caesar, it's time to shave it all.
Yeah, the cul-de-sac is never a good look. Nobody wants a cul-de-sac. All right.
No,
now
no skin yarmulke on me, baby.
Let's move to a little Arizona basketball. I think of Bruce Pascoe every time about Arizona basketball, because Bruce now is going to be going from places like Haas and Maples Pavilion, where there's essentially the same amount of people as that are sitting here doing this show, to places that are going to be absolutely packed. First of all, what do you guys think? How is Bruce going to adapt to this? What is it called? Tuck it in. Untuck it. How many untuckets is he going to pack with him? And what are your guys' thoughts on going into actual real environments?
Man, well, Bruce, like you, is an untuck it advocate.
Yes,
you've noted this many times on your podcast. Bruce loves himself an untuck it, but I'm excited for Bruce just because. Yes, it's going to be more of a challenge for him. It's probably going to be more of like getting in a rental car and driving to a lot of these places, because if you think about the Pac-12, the footprint, a lot of places are very easy to get to, like the USC, UCLA. Just fly to LAX, Stanford and Cal, fly to San Francisco. You can fly to San Jose. Like there are many airports that you can go. Washington, you can go to Seattle, Oregon, Portland. Washington State, Oregon State, obviously a little more challenging to get to. But for these trips coming up, you got Lawrence, Kansas. So you're going to fly into Kansas City and then get in a rental car and drive a little over an hour to get to Lawrence. Lubbock, Texas. I'm not sure how you're going to get there. I'm not sure what airport you fly into. That's going to be more of a challenge. But while it is going
And there'll be a lot of Cutco conventions in Lubbock too, so you have to deal with all that traffic.
Real, you guys do know about Bruce getting the ticket when he was in Dubai, correct?
Yes.
Bruce,
I was there. I was there, buddy.
Oh, you were there. Yes, I had people on the ground sending me Bruce pictures to get me through this time. Maybe an Ali, maybe a good friend of his as well. I don't know, but Bruce, you did get a ticket. We know about this. All right, go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
And he expensed it too. And
yeah, that's the most boss thing ever.
Like, hey, I got a speeding ticket, but we're just going to put it on the company card. But you think a speeding ticket, you think it's going to be a huge amount of money, but it was like $20 American currency USD. So
Bruce
it was
having
hardly
to fly back to like some like court in Dubai to challenge his ticket would be
imagine. But
I told him he's going to lose. Pay it.
But I think that
and saying your friend is Ali is not going to help,
right?
Yeah.
But listen, even though it's going to be more of a challenge for Bruce Pascoe to get to these places, these are also some of the best environments in college basketball. Fog Allen Fieldhouse, we're talking about one of the premier destinations in all of college basketball. And then you factor in the Baylor's court in Waco, Texas Tech,
Hilton Coliseum at Iowa State.
Hilton, that's what I was going to say. I mean, everybody talks about going to Kansas and Allen Fieldhouse, but I think Hilton is going to be one of the best environments we can go to as Wildcat fans. And I can't wait to go to Ames, Iowa.
And Kansas State too.
Yeah.
We got to give a big shout out to the great Mike Baldwin hopping in here. We very much like Mike Baldwin. This was a gift from the great Mike Baldwin there at the U of A. Mike Lowry, Mike Baldwin, good people. But anyways,
I like them more than Steven and Alec, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, let's be honest here. Now, let me ask you this. 5 teams that are going to be in the preseason top 10 next year in the Big 12. This is not the Pac-12 of years past. This is much, much different, my friends. I'm telling people this. You can finish 3rd in the Big 12 and still get a 2 seed. That's the way that it's going to work. This is not going to be the same thing. I'm also curious, Ali, you're a muckety muck. How many of these games are you going to be flying to with the team?
Well,
you're a muckety muck, Ali.
I guess I
put on your resume.
I think I'm going to muck it up. And I might go to, I'll definitely go to a couple. And I'll tell you, I've been to almost every Pac-12 stadium, including UCLA with Arizona, and I'm completely underwhelmed. And it's going to be, like I was saying before in the show, basketball is going to be insane. And the years of 30-4, that's not going to happen anymore. So Arizona fans, prepare yourself. We're going to have losses. But the bright side is we're going to be hardened and more prepared to actually vie for a national championship.
Well, that's the thing. Weenies will be exposed in the Big 12. Oh, that sounds terrible. You can't get away with soft play in the Big 12. Gosh, I don't. You can't. Either way, if you're not tough, you're going to get exposed in the Big 12. Justin, you are better with words than me. I will let you have the floor on that one to explain what I was trying to say.
I know wordsmith, but you're going to be battle tested when you get to the NCAA tournament. And even though you may not be the number 1 overall seed, maybe you're a 3 or a 4 seed. That kind of experience is going to get you the experience that you're going to get in the Big 12 will have you ready for the NCAA tournament. So there aren't really any surprises. Like, give, Tommy Lloyd a ton of credit for the non-conference schedule that Arizona had this season. I thought that part of the schedule really helped out Arizona, but then you get into conference play and you're going up against some softer schools that may not get you ready for the NCAA tournament. So if Arizona can continue the non-conference slate and play at a high level, like going to Maui or even the series with UCLA, and then you go into the Big 12 and you're playing Kansas and Kansas State, Iowa State, Houston. I mean, Arizona, when it's all said and done, they're going to be so battle tested that I think they're going to be one of the top teams in college basketball, and there's not going to be any more disappointing finishes. And as you guys know, Arizona fans, they don't give a sugar honey iced tea about how you start and how you look in November. It's about how you look in March.
Weenies will be exposed in Big 12 basketball. This is for sure. Now let's do something.
Is that the title of this episode? No soft weenies in the Big 12?
No soft weenies will be exposed. Yes. Welcome to the Big 12 where weenies are exposed. That's very, very good.
Can I just give you guys just from one more angle we can move on, Mike, is that as a season ticket holder, I am more excited about having season tickets now than I've been in years, because not just the non-conference, not just because Duke is coming in with, what's his name? Flag.
Oh, Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag.
But every single game, and you guys name the schools, is going to be a big game. And I think it's for the value of what we pay for season tickets to go to Arizona men's basketball. Man, I can't complain that I'm not getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with this, Justin. You know Ali pretty well. What games do we think that the great Ali Farhang is going to go to this coming year, that he's going to exercise the muckety muck status and go to these games? I am going to put down, he will be at Fog. I don't think there's any question about that. What other games, though? What other games, Justin?
I'll give Fog Allen Fieldhouse, Iowa State. I mean, he brought that up, and he was all over that.
Right.
So Iowa State, Kansas, Houston,
man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Houston, I can actually fly into the city, and like Ames, Iowa, you got to fly into Cedar Rapids and then drive to like 90 minutes to Ames.
Is there an outside the box one that we're maybe not thinking about, Ali? What do you got, Justin?
Kansas State.
Oh, the Little Apple.
Yeah, the Little Apple. Going out to Manhattan, Kansas. And the reason why I say that is because in the Middle East last year, Ali Farhang and Jerome Tang became best buds.
Well, I don't know about that. He still hasn't been on the phone. Yeah.
Dude, hey, does Ali and Jerome Tang look a little similar to you?
I think you got the Baylor football coach as my guy.
Oh, Dave Aranda?
Dave Aranda. That is Ali.
That is a really, really good one. Oh, what about Orlando, Ali? You could I was gonna say you could probably have some good time in Orlando as well. Central Florida beat Kansas last year, so it's not like it's a gimme.
Yeah, I mean, let me just be direct about this. Nah.
Oh, can I run it by you again?
I've been to Orlando enough. I'm good with Orlando. And I know Scheer doesn't agree with me, and it's cool, but like anywhere with a Disney World or Disneyland, I don't want any part of it.
I am Team Ali on that one, by the way. I am Team Ali on that one. Now, let's talk a little bit of Arizona baseball. Arizona baseball, my friends. First of all, I was out at the game and they got blasted, so I decided not to go back. That is called a tease, though. Before, though, Illegal Pete's. Justin, I know you've been to Illegal Pete's. Ali, I know you've been to Illegal Pete's. This is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. I love their chicken bowl.
Chicken bowl, very good, very good. Now, have you ever had a client meeting at Illegal Pete's, Ali?
I have not, but I have represented them, so I'm very fond of them. Yeah.
Dude, talking about a mic drop. I've represented Illegal Pete's. So.
The owner's a really nice guy, man.
I know Pete.
Lives in Colorado. I do.
I know Pete.
They always say.
And he's very legal.
Yeah.
Is his name Pete?
His name is Pete.
All right. Well, Illegal Pete's. Listen, some people like Justin and I have to go there to actually consume the meal. Other people just actually defend the meal. Either way, Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Check out their legendary soundtrack deal. Bring in your ticket stub for any ticketed event and get a draft beer or house margarita for a penny. Illegal Pete's wants to celebrate with you, whether it's a pregame or postgame party. They got you covered for all your game day needs. Let's purchase an adult entree, though, to redeem Illegal Pete's sound check deal. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Ollie, do you have to pay for food when you go to Illegal Pete's?
Well, I don't discount my bill, so I'm happy to pay full price for a burrito.
Oh, you're supporting local, even though he's in Colorado.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's a great place right on University Boulevard. What a beautiful street. So many good restaurants.
Arizona baseball. Are you guys going to be out at any of these games, perhaps?
Got 2 tickets for Friday.
Nice. What about the hardest working man in the industry, Justin Spears? We've talked about it. We need Justin time, though, before any of this.
See, you mentioned how I'm like part of the OVO crew. Maybe I got the Drake curse. Maybe it's best for me to stay away because I haven't gone to a baseball game this season. And they've done so well. They won the Pac-12. The last thing I would want to do is jeopardize Arizona baseball season. So I'm thinking I'm going to have
No.
to stay away from the juice box.
Yeah, you can't go. Like,
Yeah.
unlike Arizona basketball this year, where they were 1-5 every game I went to on the road. I know, Andrew. I know.
Were they really 1-5?
Arizona
Yeah,
baseball
that
is
is
1
right.
every
This
5
sucked
to
every
5.
time you went to some. Weren't you at Oregon State?
I was at Washington State, which
Or
was even
Washington
worse.
State,
It's
I
a whole other. That could be an hour show about how we were stuck in Pullman, Washington,
Oh,
while
the
our
go-
football coach was deciding that he was going to leave for the University of Washington.
Generally, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'll just, I'll be there Friday. And you know what I think is incredible, when the season started, Chip Hale called this a transition year and really building the foundation for the future. And he was on the show yesterday, and I'm like, hey, not bad. You won the regular season Pac-12 championship and the tournament championship. That's a heck of a transition year. So
Oh, you remembered that, huh?
yeah, can't wait for when he's got expectations.
Chip is the man. Scheer and I have been going back and forth on Twitter for 3 years about Chip. I am Team Chip. I very much like Team Chip. He does not. He is going to be wrong on Chip. Chip is the man. Where was I going?
I have two questions for you. I have two questions. Number one, in the last year of the Pac-12, from football to now ending with baseball, Arizona won the Pac-12 from an athletic department
by a mile.
perspective. By a mile, right? Number two, you look up and down the roster of coaches at Arizona. You've got Laura Ianello, who played at Arizona, Adia Bars, who played at Arizona, Brent Brennan, an Arizona guy, Chip Hale, an Arizona guy. Have we had more? And I'm missing Jim Anderson. He's an Arizona guy. Clancy Shields. These guys are engaged in the community. Tommy Lloyd has become a Tucson guy. I mean, he became a local by engaging in the community more, unlike anybody. Do we have a more, like, we've got Arizona people coaching Arizona teams in our athletic department than we've ever had before?
No, and it's awesome. Plus, they're good people. It's awesome. What say you, Justin?
Yeah, no, I love it. And I think, like you said, Ali, is that even if they are not from Tucson, Arizona, they have embraced Tucson. Tommy Lloyd, I mean, he grew up in small town
Kelso, Washington,
right outside Spokane. He understands, the small town culture, and Tucson is the biggest small town you'll ever be a part of. And Tommy loves the culture. So even if these guys didn't go to the University of Arizona, they understand the importance of the community and having Tucson behind them. And that's why when you look at every single program from top to bottom, all these programs have incredible coaches that are going to be around for a long time.
And we've had, to make the point, we've had coaches here in the past, one that used to, I don't remember his name, used to coach football here, but we knew they're interlopers. It was a stepping stone job. And, there's going to be schools that are going to come after some of our coaches because of their success. You look at a guy like Clancy Shields, but I don't feel like we have one coach in the athletic department that's here and this is like a stepping stone job for them. This is the job.
This is so true. This is somebody that, Bear Down Cats 96. This is no coach embraced Tucson like Kevin O'Neill. This is true.
Yeah.
The best story about Kevin O'Neill, I've got a lot of them, but every time he got fired from or left a job, he would grab a bottle of whiskey, Jack Daniels, and he would make a bonfire in his backyard and he would burn all the clothes.
He's amazing. And you know what it is? He's a very fascinating drinker. One time me and Jamino got to drink with him for about an hour and a half. He downed 8 mixed drinks in an hour and a half, was totally fine. And he walked in there. It was great. He walked in there. He had a New York Yankees hat on with 2 flag lapels on a double-breasted suit. And then he, about an hour in, he starts getting phone calls from his wife. And he's like, gosh, hold on, I'm going to answer. And he's like, yeah, give me a few more minutes. Give me a few more minutes. That few more minutes turned into like 3 more mixed drinks. He headed out like nothing was wrong. It was absolutely amazing. I was very impressed by KO. So I will very much, the best thing about KO is that KO gave out his personal phone number at his introductory press conference.
It's incredible. I mean, the drinking reminds me of a Dean Martin story. They're like, hey, do you have a drinking problem? He's like, no, I don't have a drinking problem. I just put it in the freezer and I eat it like a popsicle.
I mean, seriously, it's not that bad. Hey, let me ask you guys this. Well, actually, first, OGs. Now, listen, we got OGs right here, but also OGs. Let's say you look at somebody and they're pretty cool. You might say, man, they probably have some OGs in their life. I'm not sure that they wouldn't if they weren't that cool. Here's the deal with OGs. To learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com. Must be 21 up to enjoy responsibly. It is also local, my friends. Local. So again, support local, just like Ali defends local, just like Justin reports local. support local as well. OGs. All right, guys. Caleb Love, if he announces he's coming back today, let me ask you this. What are your expectations for Arizona basketball this coming year? Boom.
With or without Caleb Love, Arizona is a Final Four team. Just because you look at all the other pieces they have. I mean, sure, losing Kashad Johnson, losing Pella Larson, even losing Kylan Boswell. I know that, Kylan Boswell had a down year last year, but, the good that he showed, I still think that Kylan Boswell is an asset. And I'm really curious to see how he does at Illinois in this upcoming season. But you got Jaden Bradley coming back, who showed in the NCAA tournament, who showed in those last few games, he deserves to be the starting point guard just from making everybody around him and making winning plays. Like if you really dissect Jaden Bradley's game, he makes all the plays that you want your starting point guard to make. So I love Jaden Bradley.
It reminds me of a right-handed Mike Conley.
Interesting.
From Minnesota.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I like that.
And I've even seen the Jason Terry comparisons. Now, Jason Terry was a first-round pick, conference player of the year, All-American. That might be a little unfair to Jaden Bradley for comparing him to Jason Terry, but you can see the comparisons. And then you throw KJ Lewis in. And,
your guy, KJ Lewis from Tucson, from Vail, your guy, KJ Lewis.
Mesquite Elementary's finest right there, man. But, I will say this. KJ Lewis, even though they're different players, I still kind of view him on the same path as a Benedict Mathurin, where Ben, as a first-year guy, got some attention from NBA players or from NBA scouts, but year two, the jump that he made from year one to year two was insane. And then he turned into a lottery pick. I really think that we could be seeing KJ Lewis next year as a first round pick coming out of Arizona. I love his defensive energy. I think if his shot continues to evolve and get more polished, I think sky's the limit for KJ. He's already got the defense to play at the next level, but if he can continue to grow his offensive game, then I really love what KJ Lewis can do. And then you add in Mo Krivas, who's going to be a year better and should be doing some big things.
Another year in the weight room.
Another year in the weight room with Chris Rounds. The transfers and Toby Awaka and Trey Townsend. I think Trey Townsend's going to be the starter. Toby Awaka is going to be the grinder, dirty guy coming off the bench. And then you add in the superstar freshman in Carter Bryant, who's a McDonald's All-American, could be a first-round pick. I think from top to bottom, this roster, with or without Caleb Love, should be going to the Final Four. What about you?
I love it. Ali Farhang, what say you, my friend?
I'll be very unlawyer-like and just use a few words. I agree with Justin. I mean, and I think going back to what we talked about before, what we talked about before, I think that the talent is there and the conference schedule is going to prepare these guys so that when it's 43-42 and we get the lead back from Clemson, we don't then give the lead right back up. We're hardened. We can deal with adversity. And I think the conference schedule is really going to prepare us with the talent on this team to be a Final Four team.
All right, guys, before we sign off here, very much appreciate you two. Now you can find these two on, let's see, 94.9 channel 4 on your HD dial. This is correct. 104.9 and
nope, 1490.
1490 AM.
1490. Excuse me. I didn't have my script in front of me. I do apologize on this. I blame Andrew Trujillo. I was way more.
That's what we always do.
I was way more interested in making sure that I got the channel 4 on your HD dial now. Hey, true story. So Trujillo and I were debating this one time when I was filling in, and I said, I don't think that I have this on my Kia Optima, which was stolen by the Kia boys. Thanks, Kia boys. But I have a brand new, very, very spiffy Nissan Altima. Guess what it has on there? 94.9 channel 4 on your HD dial. Boom.
I like it.
I feel very good every time I listen to you guys on it. All right. What do you guys got going on the rest of the week? Justin, and then Ali, who are you? Are you in court this week or no?
I'm not in court this week. And I just want to say it out loud because we all feel it. Like the magic that's happening right now. I mean, I think we should just face it. It's immense. It's immense that we just made the world a better place with all three of us being on a show together.
Dude, I know, dude. The stars have aligned, my friends.
Yeah. is a tribute to Bill Walton and the joy and authenticity and passion he lived with. I think we embodied all of that.
Yeah.
And with all respect to your partner in crime, Jason Scheer, I think this might be the peak. This is it, man. Maybe we get Scheer on and then just I don't know what
everybody.
I don't know what might happen.
Nah, Scheer wouldn't say anything. He would just sit here like this the whole time.
Like AJ Hawk.
Yeah, literally like AJ. Yeah, like AJ Hawk, dude. What does he do for that show? Every time I watch it when I'm at Vasa Fitness, and all they show him is him going like this.
We've been talking about this for months. It's like, all right, what does McAfee need to make this show really come together? You know what? We need to get the most Thor-like guy to just stand there and look at himself on screen. I think he looks at himself on screen, doesn't even listen to what's going on.
Dude, I have not thought about that. That is a great. He does nothing.
Nothing.
It's a great gig if you can get it, I guess. But
yeah, what do you think about that, AJ?
Yeah.
And you don't even need to say anything. You can just kind of and still look at yourself. You're right, though. He is looking at himself. There's definitely a mirror right there where he's just going like this.
He's just like, God, I'm so handsome. Look at that. Look at that. Man, remember that scene I had in Pitch Perfect too?
Yeah.
Man, that was so
amazing.
Good. Yeah,
Justin, what do you got going on, my friends? I know you got your hand in many fires.
Yeah. So even though AJ Hawk's doing a whole lot of nothing, we got a whole lot going on with Spears and Ali. So throughout the rest of the week, we're going to be previewing the Tucson Regional Arizona Baseball at High Corbett. We'll be looking into that stand, I guess. You got a lot of great teams. I mean, GCU, Dallas Baptist, West Virginia. It should be a good time at High Corbett. So we're going to be previewing that. We're going to be talking about the Tucson Sugar Skulls as well. Tucson's IFL franchise. Tucson Roadrunners are staying in town for at least the next 3 years. Arizona Bowl doing a lot of big things. Plus, you got the D-backs. NBA playoffs are in full swing. So no shortage of content on our radio show. And then pretty much on the football front for the Arizona Daily Star, I'll be looking at the transfer portal and looking at some other final pieces that Arizona could be adding for this upcoming season. So pretty busy time.
And Justin, I got a segment for us. When it's 32 days until the NFL season starts, I think we should do an analysis of one team per day.
I got one for you. I need to ask.
This only 3 days a week. We might need more than 32 days.
I need to ask both of you guys this as Lakers fans. Is LeBron on the Lakers next year?
Yes.
So that means Bronny is on the Lakers next year.
Yes. I'll tell you where he's not going to be. The Phoenix Suns.
Justin Spears is playing the gauntlet.
Tell all your peeps at PHNX to stop with this narrative. Like, oh, LeBron's going to take the vet minimum and he's going to sign with this. Like, let's stop it. Stop it.
I mean, it's
stop
like
it. You guys are worse than Laker fans.
You know, if my son says, Dad, I really want to play with you and I got drafted by Phoenix, I'm going to say, well, 3 years, $160 million. Son, good luck.
You know, let me ask you this. If you're a team like the Jazz with like the 12th pick, why don't you just pick Bronny?
Why? Like,
what?
LeBron James is not going to Salt Lake, buddy.
Then you know what? We will hold him hostage here for a ransom.
Yeah.
You're going to hold my son hostage while paying him millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Man, I'm a great father.
Can you imagine joking aside though, why wouldn't a team do that? Now the Jazz is a bad example. I get it. But why wouldn't you do that? Because then you might get something worthwhile out of it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Look, man, the kid is talented. I think he gets a lot of undue hate because of his last name. He does nothing but try to work hard, keep his head down. He's not a talker.
I agree.
So whatever success he gets, I'm all for it. But like, business and personal, LeBron's got production companies. He's got business interests. He's a billionaire. He's going to own the Las Vegas expansion team.
Let me ask you this. What if you're Cleveland? You got a roster that could probably compete for a title with LeBron if you didn't have to get. Why wouldn't you draft Bronny? Plus, that's the one thing that LeBron could make that transition without getting absolutely killed nationally if he went back to Cleveland. What say you guys? Am I wrong?
I agree. I think that going back to Cleveland for a part 3 with the roster that they have, I mean, it's not inconceivable. And I'm sure Miss Gloria would love to get him out of Los Angeles where Jeannie Buss and Miss Rambis are rubbing on his shoulders in games. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but
no, I have seen this. What say you all, Lee? I see you
No,
nodding your
man.
head in total disagreement.
No, man. You know, a statue in Cleveland's one thing. A statue in LA is another thing altogether. You play for one of the prestigious organizations in all of basketball. Like I said, you've got all these interests. You're going to tell your wife we're moving back to Cleveland. You're going to move again. I don't see it.
She's from Cleveland.
Cleveland's going to trade Jared Allen. Donovan Mitchell's not going to play with Garland anymore. So, and Dan Gilbert, the owner, you forget about ego. I don't, does he really want LeBron around? And I'll be honest, as a Laker fan, is signing LeBron to 3 years, $160 million, the best thing for the organization long-term? I'm not sure it is. So if it happens, it happens. I just don't foresee it. There's too many moving pieces and too many business look, when they say it's not about the money, it's always about the money.
Of course,
too much money involved with LeBron staying at the Lakers. Now, is he going to leverage it and do LeBron things? Yes, he is. But he's going to be in the purple and gold next year.
All right. The great Justin Spears, the great Ollie Farhang. Very much appreciate you too. Again, you're going to be on tomorrow at 7 on 1490, 94.9 channel 4 on your HD dials. Make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock for Justin Spears, Ollie Farhang, and the great Andrew Trujillo behind the boards as well, doing his thing. I am merely Mike Luke. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.